Dr. Gray, it's such a pleasure having you on our summit today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to talk with you. And I love that we're talking about relationships and parenting. I also am a parent. I have three daughters.
Yes.
And I also grew up in a family of six boys and one girl. So I know the two extremes of what can happen in families. And so we'll be talking about that today as well.
Yes, thank you. And when I started, as I mentioned in our preview before we started the interview, I mentioned that I started the Parenting Summit a year ago. And one of the feedback we got was that parents were concerned, yes, I love these parenting tips, but what can I do about my relationship? If my relationship is not going well, how can I show up as a parent that I need to show up as? So I thought you would be the perfect person to speak to us about relationships and how we can ensure that our intimate relationships are healthy, and also with that being healthy, that we can better show up for our children. So to start the conversation, one of the topics that has been highly debated is the question of whether or not we should prioritize our love relationship with our partner or spouse or our children. There's some who say it is better to prioritize focus on the children, and there are others who say if the relationship is not healthy, then the children will suffer. So you have to prioritize the relationship. Where are you on that?
That's odd. I've never heard anybody who's an expert talk about prioritizing your children.
No, it's not experts, it's parents. So you have
parents.
to prioritize yes. You
Definitely
see it in the
experts.
blogs, you see it in, I've seen it on social media where the comments come up and parents in particular said, no, you have to I prioritize my child. It is important to prioritize my children. Expert don't agree, but since we have you here, in case parents.
That's actually harmful to your children. Mm-hmm. Children should never be the center of attention. And that's what's happened today. See, there's a natural instinct. We all need love. We want to be loved. And our children unconditionally love us. They don't have to, they are our little fan club until they're 13 years old. So when you're not getting the love you need from your spouse, you naturally go, well, I'll just focus on my kids. You can be anything. You can be massively dysfunctional and your kids will love you. Parents, when nobody's around, are often awful. But nobody's watching, if nobody's watching. But when it comes to a family, dysfunction occurs when the children are the priority as opposed to the relationship. Mm-hmm. I remember, here's an example of that, and we can slip into these things. I didn't have any awareness of this until I made the mistake. One of the things Bonnie complained to me about, Bonnie and I were married for 34 years until she passed, and we have a beautiful relationship. And based upon the ideas I wrote, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, those were a lot of the practical lessons that we learned together in order to have a soulmate, beautiful relationship. Mm-hmm. And one of the changes in there, as we learn how to improve communication. And what does improved communication means? It's be able to express your truth in a way that your partner hears you instead of defends. It's very, very important that we have to take into consideration how we sound to our partner. Same thing with our children. We have to take into consideration, what are they hearing when we're upset with our children? What are they hearing? Well, they're hearing that they're not good enough. They don't deserve your love. So amazing. We have to think bigger if we want a better life. So Bonnie was saying to me, John, the kids listen to you. They don't listen to me. And that's very interesting. And
yes.
They would, if I say do this, they do that. And if she said do that, they often don't do it. And two things. One is that often in the old days, women would say, I know my mother would say, if you don't listen to me, then I'm going to tell your father. Well, that's training your children that father's more important than mother. So, but Bonnie wasn't doing that. But I know that went on in my house when we were all growing up. But Bonnie, we had the reverse of that. Bonnie was feeling they don't listen to me, and the same feeling my mother had, threatened my father's punishment. But we raised our children without the old whip. So there wasn't that aspect of daddy. So why are they listening to me and not my wife? So I analyzed and I saw that the first thing I did when I came home was hug my kids. They all, daddy's here, daddy's here. And of course, they're all excited to see me because at that time, Bonnie was a stay-at-home mother, taking care of the kids, the little babies and kids running around. And it gets boring. Same old person, same old person. And now here's new and different produces excitement, just new and different. And they would run and see daddy, and I'd hold them and play with them, and Bonnie would be making dinner. And then she'd say, come to dinner, and we'd go to dinner. So I analyzed this, and I said, from now on, I did 2 changes, and my kids started listening to mom. And the first change I did is when I came home and they came to daddy's here, and they'd run to me, I'd say, where's your mother? And the little ones would jump in my arms. I carry them on the way to find mother and give her a hug, a 6-second hug, 7-second hug. So it's intentional hug. It's not sexual hug. It's just feeling the connection, resonating with each other, feeling a oneness. I love her. And sometimes I say, I love you so much. What have you made for dinner? Oh, just some acknowledgement of her and a hug. Now, that says to the children, who does daddy go to first? Mama.
Mommy. Yeah.
Okay, that was one. So that was one step. The next thing is I noticed that she'd say, come to dinner. Dinner's ready. And I say, okay, kids, get in there right away. Your mother's made dinner. Get in there. Now that sounds real authoritative, right? But actually, better than that was mom says, come to dinner. Let's go.